Hi everyone, it's Chrissy here, the creative eclectic from Brisbane, Queensland, Australia, and I am joined tonight by the lovely Sue McDonald from the United Kingdom, and she's a Stampin' Up demonstrator just like me. So we thought we would have a little bit of a chat. So Sue, thank you for joining me tonight.
You're welcome, Chrissy. It's lovely to catch up with you again online.
Yeah. So do you want to tell us a little bit about you and your Stamping Up journey? And
I can do. I started back, 2015 it was when I started.
so it's your
Uh,
50th anniversary.
yes, it was back in March.
Oh,
So,
so you joined during celebration?
yes, no, it was just after celebration when
Oh,
I
because I
actually
used to do
joined up.
celebration in March a long
Yeah,
time ago.
no, it was just after. And I only stumbled across it because I fancied a stamp set that I'd seen. I'd never heard of Stampin' Up before.
Oh,
Because
okay.
I'm from a scrapbooking background, and somebody I saw it caught one of the stamps caught my eye, and I thought, oh, I could use that on a layout. And I went along, and here I am, 15 years later.
Oh, wow. That's
Uh,
awesome.
yeah. So how did you get into it, Chrissy?
I went to a party with my sister 17 years ago, and 16 years ago I joined because I had started buying a lot of stuff and they had a really good deal. It wasn't celebration. It was in June 2009, and I just joined up. And I was really busy working and had a family and worked full time. And I just joined for the discount. And fast forward 15 years later, and this is my job. So
Hmm?
I'm very, very lucky. Yeah. So yeah, it's been a really good time. And when I joined, you couldn't pick what you had in your starter kit. And that would
I
be the
remember
same
that.
for you too.
Yep.
So
Fixed. Everything was fixed.
this is the catalogue that was out when I joined. Is it back the front? It is back the front. Sorry about that. And so you had to pick these things. So there wasn't a lot to choose from, a lot of choice. You got some ink pads and you got a stamping scrub and
Hmm.
some cardstock and blender pens and scissors. And because we only had um, red rubber wood stamps on
Yes.
wood at
Yes.
that time. So it
Yeah,
was very,
I
very
remember
different.
that.
Yeah. So,
You had a choice of color ink pads, I think, but you had a
yes.
limited range.
Yeah, you got six ink pads.
Yes, but and you could
And,
choose those.
oh, sorry, you got five ink pads plus a Versamark ink.
Yeah.
And you could add on a scrapbooking add-on kit. Yeah.
Yes, because they had scrapbook kits in, and then they
Yeah.
stopped them for a wee while, so it's exciting to have them back now.
And at that time, it was $324 Australian to join. So now it is $169 to join.
That's a good bargain.
Yeah.
And for what you get in the starter kits, I know in the UK it's £130.
Oh,
No,
cool.
it's £99. I can't, do you know what? That's really bad that I don't know that at the
Oh,
moment.
that's dreadful.
But I know it's a really good offer, and you get to choose a freebie, especially when during celebration time, to if you want to start.
Yeah. And so maybe we should tell people how we met. That might be an interesting story.
Yes, we met via an online Stampin' Up event.
Yeah.
Sadly, I couldn't make Vegas. I had to cancel due to a family problem, but we still managed to connect after the event.
Yeah.
So
And it was through the training that Stampin' Up offered to all demonstrators through
yeah,
Oksana Global. And we
yes, that's
became accountability buddies because you were in Thailand at the time and I was here in
yes,
Australia. And we connected. We had a couple of other accountability buddies, but
yeah,
we joined and we had the opportunity to apply for a it was a pretty exclusive program at that time.
yes,
It still
it
is,
is.
I guess, called the Rise Up program through Exano Global. And
Mhm.
we continued as accountability buddies. So that was nearly 2 years ago.
It
And we
is.
talk
It
all the
is.
time. Well, all the time, every week we try and talk. Um,
Yeah.
some weeks we're more successful than others, and we're more successful some weeks than others of keeping each other accountable.
Mhm.
Although Sue helped me be accountable and earn the Stamping Up incentive trip, and be and with that came being top 7 demo in Australia. So thank you for that, Sue.
That's fine.
Yeah. So what else should we cover today? We had a
Uh,
little list, didn't we, of all the things we were
we
going to
did.
cover. And
Oh, what are you saying about your first catalogue? Here's my first stamp set.
oh, that's so cool.
It's Summer by the Sea, and I remember a long time ago being asked to do a little presentation at one of the on stage events, and I actually used it on my I made a little present and gave it to Sarah.
Oh, wow, that's so cool. And
Yeah,
I love that stamp set. I still have
yeah.
the first stamp set that I owned, and that is lovely as a no. Sorry, I have the second stamp set that I owned, and that's lovely as a tree, and I will never get rid of it. I got rid of the
Yeah.
first one, but the first one that I owned as a demonstrator was lovely as a tree.
Mm.
And yeah, yeah. So you had some questions you wanted to ask.
Oh, did I have a question I wanted to
Yeah,
ask you?
here's 5 questions you had to ask me, or you were going to ask.
Oh, I want to know fun facts about you.
A fun fact. Um, that I love to travel, but I am terrified of flying, which is a little bit tricky considering from Australia to travel anywhere, you really have to fly. So,
Mm.
but yeah,
And you're off to Orlando.
yes, I am. I am. We're doing a little family trip first as well. So, seeing my sister-in-law and her family, but and seeing my best friend after it. So, yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. That was nice to earn that incentive trip. That was a good 15th anniversary
Yeah.
goal. So, yeah.
And it's very hard. It's not every demonstrator that can achieve that.
No, I think in Australia, 20 people earned it out of about 3,500. So
Mm. Yeah.
it was a lot of hard work, and I'm very grateful and that I had the opportunity to do that. So you had 5 questions you were going to ask me. What's the next
I
one?
got five. What's a non-crafty activity that you do?
I have recently tried my hand at cookie decorating, using royal icing. I do like to cook, and no, I like to cook sometimes and like to try out new things. And I watch lots of cooking shows and collect cookbooks. And I another non-crafty activity I do is reading. I read every morning and every night and at lunchtime. And yeah, I've got a book on the go all the time. So yeah.
That's good. Uh, can you describe your craft room?
It's a mess. It's a chaotic mess. So I'm actually upstairs in the study at the moment, and you can see I've got my little mini embossing machine, and like even the study is a mess, but we share it. But um, yeah, it's not big enough. That's probably my big description of my craft room. It's not big enough. It's a very small study, and I don't actually have a big enough table to work on. So I work a lot of the time on the dining table, just like
Mm-hmm.
lots of other crafters do.
Yep.
Yeah.
And ooh, how many cards do you make in a year?
Ooh, that depends on how many stamp sets I buy. So I have a little bit of a goal because for a little while I was buying stamp sets and not using them. So I have a goal that when I get a stamp set, I make, when I first open it, I'll make 5 to 10 cards out of it. And yeah, I try not to buy too many stamp sets, but this month I've made about 40 cards. Now, if you ask me how many cards I send, that's really easy, hardly any. But I donate a lot of cards. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So, yeah. So, in a year, a couple of hundred.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But
That's
this is
what.
my job. So,
Yeah. Yeah. So, have you got any questions for me?
um,
Mm-hmm.
do you send cards?
Yes, I do.
How,
Because you can't put a text message or anything on a fridge. It's
that's
nice to get
true.
that personal touch. And
Mm,
people like to have something nice to open rather than that bill, I think.
I think so too. Um, what would you describe your craft style as?
Depending on what mood I'm in, it can be clean and simple sometimes, or it can be really messy and grungy. And so it just depends on the mood that I'm in, and obviously with the stamp set or what I'm doing. If it's a scrapbook page, exactly the same applies for it.
So you do lots of scrapbooking still?
I've I did stop it for a little while, but I'm getting back into it with the new ranges of stuff that kits that Stampin' Up bringing up. But I have to find the hours in the day because working full time.
Yeah. Yeah, I was a scrapbooker before I found Stamping Up too.
Mm.
Yeah. And how long do you think you would spend on a card, making a card? Like for someone really special.
Oh, for someone really special, I'd take an hour or more.
Is that all?
Yeah.
Oh, dear. Um,
Yeah, it just depends. A lot depends on who it's for, if I want it really fancy or if I want it really techie. It depends. Depends on the person.
yeah. Do you do batch card making too? Like do
Yes. Yes, I've got a batch sitting behind you.
Oh,
I'm just batched up.
oh, cool. So how many questions have I asked you now? I don't know.
I lost track.
Lost track. Yeah. Oh, I'll ask you one more.
Go on
What's
then.
your favorite card making technique?
I love a fancy fold. I do love a fancy fold card make. I like to work the mechanisms out on that.
Oh, cool. See, I like heat embossing. That's one of my favorites. And sponging. I
Yes.
love sponging on everything. So they're
Yeah.
my two favorites. Yeah. Ah. Right. You said before about sending cards and that
Mhm.
you can't put a text or an email on your fridge or on your mantle. Um, what else do you think is important? Why about sending cards? Why do you send?
To keep in touch.
Yeah. So about connection. Like
It is about connections and
I
that,
love
yeah.
Sarah Douglas's goal of she wants to eliminate loneliness one
Yeah.
card at a time.
Yeah.
And I donate a lot of my cards to Letters of Hope. And so that's like a mental health initiative. And so they send letters to strangers. I think the UK equivalent is A Million Lovely Letters. Have you seen?
I've not heard of them.
Oh,
I'll have to look into that.
yeah. And we also, like, I've done a few days for homemade cards for seniors. So we did one last weekend, and that was around giving Easter cards. So when their Meals on Wheels deliver their
Mhm.
Easter food, they get an Easter card, and we have to write in it. And yeah, so
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I remember back a couple of years ago when they Stampin' Up did the Ronald McDonald Christmas
yeah,
card things. I know my ladies were really interested in that. And then recently we did a charity event in memory of my daughter, and we donated all the proceeds and the cards to Minds
okay,
in
yeah.
the UK. So yeah,
So that's a psychological health initiative as well.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So it's sort of like really helping the community and everything. So I
yeah,
think it's really good to give back.
yeah. And Stamping Up gives us so much opportunity to be able to do that, like to give
Yeah,
back.
and to connect with others.
Yeah, I really like that. So speaking of opportunities, what other opportunities is Stamping Up given you that you
Oh,
really love?
travel, which is was one of my goals as a child. I wanted to travel. I always remember as a teenager, when my mum come back from a holiday, she was not amused that I'd got a coach and gone over to Paris, spent the day in Paris and come back.
Oh,
She was not
really?
impressed on my own, yeah.
So,
But like
so
through
you've
Stampin' Up,
traveled
I've traveled a
for
lot.
Stamping Up conferences all through
Yeah.
Europe, haven't you?
Yeah, I've been to Vienna, Brussels, Frankfurt, Munich, Amsterdam, Rotterdam,
And they're all ones that
Orlando.
anyone can, that's a Stamping Up demonstrator can go
Yeah,
to.
yeah, they're
Oh,
the ones that they can go to. I've been over to Florida twice. I went to one of their last when they had their system, which was leadership, and I managed to go over and have a nice their last
wow.
leadership one, and then I went over there for their 35th anniversary.
I went to there too. Yeah.
Yeah, so we must have missed each other there
No.
then.
No. Yeah. I did prize patrol when I was there. So for you that don't know, prize patrol is where you everyone in the audience has a number and they hand out when the people
Mm,
they bring up the number on screen and you hand out. You,
yeah. My favorite memory from that was when the ticker tape come down
oh yes, it was
and
awesome.
I laid on the floor and I was doing snow angels. They
Yeah,
must have thought I was mad.
when I went to Orlando for the 35th, that it was the 35th, 30th,
Yeah. The,
30th,
was it the 30th? It was the 30th.
30th. well, for the anniversary one anyway, I
Yeah.
I had just been promoted to silver, and it was really. I got to walk across the stage, and it was so good. It was a big, and my upline was there to
Oh,
congratulate me,
that's good.
and
Yeah. Sorry, it was my thing because 35 years was in lockdown, so it was 30th.
yeah, so
Yeah, it was the 30th. So yes, I would have cheered you along that stage then.
yeah. So I guess the other opportunities that it gives us is that they give us lots of training, and they give us lots of opportunities to connect,
Yeah.
like through the things that you and I do, like our Zooms and our leadership programs, but also
Yeah.
they have
They also,
Facebook groups, and they have things like creativity now. And so, would you believe before I joined Stamping Up, I couldn't stand up in front of people and teach, right? I used to make myself sick. So, in the 15 years that I've been at Stamping Up Demo, I have progressed from there, and I teach classes and teach big events and do Zooms and all sorts of things. So it's given me a lot of confidence as well. And I've met all sorts of people who I would never have met
mm,
otherwise. And that's really nice too.
it is really nice. I remember when I signed up, and I remember saying to my husband, "Oh, I'm just doing it for the I want that stamp set. I'm just doing it for that. I might do some classes." Within a month, I was doing classes and being asked to go back to that same group of ladies, and some of them I'm still in contact with them now.
That's lovely, isn't
And
it?
one of them still comes up to my classes. So it just shows how, and that friendship. And it turns out, funny enough, through talking to her, her grandmother lived next to my parents.
Oh,
So it shows
really?
you just how much a small world it is. And it was through talking that we found out that her grandmother lived next door to my parents.
That's
So
remarkable.
I knew her from a child.
So funny. All right. So we're asking a few more questions. What's a typical day in the life of you as a Stepping Up demo?
For me, I work full time, so it's when I come home. If I've got a class on, then I'll just come up and I'll prep
Mhm.
and look through and cut all the card stock and everything. If I've done when I've done the card and that, and then I create for myself as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't do as much creating for myself. So like my week is all planned because I'm a bit of a
Yeah,
so twice a week I know that I'm going to see Sue through our accountability groups and training.
I
And
think it's what you make of it. It's what you put in is what you get out.
yeah,
And if you're anything like me at the moment, I'm a bit rushed because I've had a long week and I've got a retreat this weekend. So
and I made you get up early.
no, I needed to get up because I ended up doing a 12-hour day yesterday instead of half a day.
Yeah. And I think the beautiful thing about Stamping Up is that you can become a demonstrator and you can just buy for yourself,
Yeah,
or you can build a business like we both have and build it around your life. So,
yeah.
like, I was working full time and traveling to and from Canberra for work, and I had a daughter in primary and high school. I could be a bit more flexible. And then when I took a redundancy from work, and what does my husband call it? I was realigning my strategic goals and took some time off. And then he said, why don't you just do Stamping Up full time? And even though I say I do it full time, I actually don't. I do it probably 4 days a week.
But
And
that's how it fits around your lifestyle.
so when I'm not well, because I've got some chronic health issues, I can spend a day in bed and not have to do stuff.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
Well,
it's
as you
very,
know,
very flexible.
I took
And you
six
can do it
months
from
off.
anywhere in the world,
Yeah,
really.
yeah.
So when Steve retires next year and we'll be traveling a bit, even though our home will be in Australia and I'll only be able to sell for Australians, I'll still, wherever we are in the world, be able to connect with people and do some work from wherever.
So are you coming this way then?
Maybe.
Woo!
Maybe. I would love to. Yeah. He's got a plan and and the UK and Scotland is in the UK. So it looks, yeah.
Yeah.
Because my husband is Scottish. Well, was born to Scottish parents in Singapore, but they lived in Scotland for a while before they moved
Mm.
to New Zealand. So yeah, he has strong ties to Scotland.
Mhm.
So, and I have family in the UK as well. So
So there you are.
yeah,
It's a no-brainer then. You need to
yeah,
come this way.
yeah. Well, that's a plan. It depends as long as the dollar improves. So what else can we tell you? Oh, we had a question from someone about one of my ladies asked me, I've got nothing at all. I'm new to stamping. What do I want to take up the sale-a-bration joining offer. So we probably should talk a
Mhm.
little bit about that. So in
Yeah.
Australia, so it's different prices where you are, wherever you are in the world, depending on your market. So like I
Just one
can't.
minute, and I'll find my celebration brochure so I can
So
find out
yeah,
the
we have a little
UK one.
sale-a-bration brochure. And so there's two options, no matter where you are in the world, there's two options. So in Australia, the first option is that you get, well, everywhere. The option one is you get a handmade design, and I will put a photo up of this. A handmade designs stamp set and your choice of two stamping right markers. So for 100 and plus, you get $235 worth of your choice of products. And so that's deal. I think it's worth about 300 and something. Oh, I can't remember. But anyway, you get it for $169. So, or you can not take up the stamp set and the markers and get an extra $51 worth of product of your choice. So
And
everyone's
then,
going to take up the stamp set, which we haven't been able to play with yet, and the markers um, for a really good price. How
yeah.
much is it in the UK?
In the UK, it's £99
Mm-hmm.
with the choice of £130 worth of goods. Uh, or with the option one is the markers are worth £90 for the two sets.
So the stamp set combined
Yeah,
with
or
£90, yeah, they're
yeah, or
$162 here.
yeah, that's about half, isn't it?
Hmm.
Just under half. And
Yeah,
option
'cause the
two
Australian
is
dollar is terrible.
yeah, option
Everything
two
costs
is
more.
and option two is to have £30 worth of free products. So I know which one I would go for, but they
Yeah,
might not want the markers.
yeah.
But so there again, it's personal choice, and you can build up in the kit what you want.
Yeah, that's what I really love. Like you can choose
Yeah,
whatever you want. So like if I
yeah,
had absolutely nothing, I would start with getting a paper trimmer and a bone folder and a D block. So a little
yeah.
acrylic block.
And
And
I would buy a multi pack of family color cardstock rather than a single color because
yeah,
that way you get that
and a pack of
variety.
white.
Oh yeah, definitely the white.
So yeah, because those multiple packs of assorted packs of cardstock are so good, aren't they? You just
Yeah. And it gives you that variety. You can see the color, which is one of the things that drew me to Stampin' Up, that everything coordinates. The ribbon coordinates with the cardstock and the embellishments do as well.
and that
Which if you go to the supermarket, the normal craft shops, and ours in the UK are really dwindling down, everything matches. Because I could spend an hour trying to match a ribbon with a piece of cardstock and
that's ended up
pattern
saving
paper.
you money because like when I was a scrapbooker and before I joined Stamping Up, I would buy stuff for the product for my project. Or no, let me go back a step. I would just go to the craft store and buy beautiful papers. And then I'd come home and then I'd go, oh, I don't have anything to go with that. So then I'd have to go back to the craft store with my piece of paper that I wanted to use, or my embellishment, or my ribbon, or whatever, and try and get something to match it. So then I'd spend another $200 at the craft store because you can't just buy one piece of paper. You've got to buy, there'll be a new tool or there'll be something else.
Mhm.
And I used to spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars. And at
Yeah.
that time, I had that to spend. I don't have that now. But yeah, I used to, and then you'd have all this paper that'd be sitting there and you wouldn't use it. And then, yeah. And so really, it was costing me heaps and heaps of money.
Mm.
More,
Whereas when you sign up, you get the discount when you get the starter kit at a good offer, and you get your volume rebate. And if you build a team, which you don't have to do, you can just buy for yourself. If you have a team, then you can get some volume rebate from that, and there's bonuses.
yeah.
Uh, so it can pay for itself. I know I don't have to dig into my full-time wages to keep
Yeah.
my habit, as they say.
Yeah. And it, like hobbies are expensive. Like my
Yeah.
husband's hobby is photography. So
Ouch.
a lens is a couple of $1,000. So he doesn't buy very many lenses because the budget doesn't stretch to that. But yeah, I've made it so my hobby has to pay for itself.
Yeah.
And it's more than a hobby now for me. It is a job. But um, yeah. So yeah, that's something that's really like that's what I really like, how everything
Yeah.
coordinates. So
Yeah.
yeah, and usually, like if you have a paper that is a few years old, like from Stamping Up, it'll still go with something else that's another stamp
Yeah.
set that you buy in 5 years from now, that normally there's some coordination there and they're
Yeah.
designed to go together.
That's it. I like that.
Yeah. So I think we've covered what should I buy, and I guess the other benefit as well for being a demonstrator is meeting new people
Yes.
because we would never have met if it weren't for Stamping Up.
No, it's the arrangements and the connections that the opportunities like that they can provide.
Yeah. So you meet people either through Facebook groups or through events, or I've met quite a few people Stamping Up has for their demonstrators. You can opt into having a Stamping Up website, and I've met some lovely people through there. I had a garage sale selling off some of my old Stampin' Up stuff, and I met some of the most lovely, lovely ladies came to my garage sale, and 5 years on, they come to every class, and I would never have met them otherwise. So,
Mm.
and I've met some nice ladies through some of the charity work that we've done. So, um, yeah, it's just really exciting to meet people
Yeah,
because I think we need to connect with others. Um, so what do
definitely.
you've got a team, right? Haven't you?
Yes, I
A
do have a
small team
team.
like me.
Yes, a small team.
What do you do in your team that's different to what other demos do?
I let them be themselves. I'm there if they need me. I'm hold on. Because I know they all do it as a hobby, what we call hobbyists. They shop for themselves. So
Yeah.
if any of them wanted, and I do ask them if they want any help, if they would like to make it into the bill, to a business, and they're saying no, they're happy. I think one of my new team members is going that way, and my door is always open
Right.
to them. So
Yeah, I like my team the way that they are. Most of them are hobbyists, and but last year I had two team members promote silver, which is sort of the third level in, and I was
yeah.
so proud of them. That was probably like, in one way, I was more proud of them for doing that than I was of
Mm.
myself earning incentive trip. And that sort of that doesn't sound um, it sounds weird, doesn't it? But it's just
Yeah.
really nice to see them achieve and
It's nice to see them bloom. I had one promote last year.
mm, yeah, and like Stamping Up allows you to do that. Like they have flexibility,
Yeah.
like if you they have a quick start program if you wanted to, and but if you just want to buy for yourself, you don't have to have a team.
Yeah.
And
There's no pressure.
no. So one of the things that I do,
That is good.
yeah, one of the things I do for my team, like I've just done for my team because of the whole markers thing, and I've been trying to encourage them to get markers. I've given them a list of, well, I don't think it's hit their inboxes yet, but it's scheduled for tonight, um, of 100 ways to use the markers. So if someone joined my team this month, they will get that as well. And we have a
Yeah.
Facebook group, and we have team create days for, so Stamping Up does an event called Creativity Now. So
Yeah.
any Stamping Up demonstrator can sign up for that event, and they can sign up for
Yeah.
convention or,
Yeah, because
sorry, not
last, I
convention,
think
on
the
stage
last
in
time we
Brisbane.
had one, I had a team event that day, so
Yeah.
we all got to, or those that could get there got there.
And they do free events too, like World Card Making Day as well. So
Mm.
I wonder if they're going to do something for World Scrapbooking Day in May. I hope so.
I do. Unfortunately, I'm away that weekend.
So am I. Yeah. All right. So I guess like Sue and I aren't
I think we've
necessarily
covered it.
like the other demos, because not all demonstrators have teams. Like probably about 5% of demos have teams. Less than 1% of demos earn incentive trip.
Yeah.
Um, and so we're considered leaders but it's nice. We don't expect our team to be leaders, do we?
No,
We
no.
just,
They to me, they work it as, how it suits them because that's how I see. That's how I started off. I've just chosen to go this route.
Yeah, and it's very flexible, and you can choose to do, like, you can choose to start it as a business, and then you can go, no, this isn't right for me. I just want to buy for myself. And then you can go, in a few years' time, oh, life has changed. Now I can choose to do something else.
Yeah.
And you can choose what events you go to. They have all sorts of really great resources for demos as well. So they have a Stamping University,
Yeah. They have
videos, and
the
anyone
demo.
who joins our team has access to us, don't they?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think we've covered everything that everybody would have asked us.
I
And
think
we're
so
really
too.
sorry about the technical issues with
Yes.
Facebook.
That will, well, I think we've learned a lesson that we should try it
Yeah, we're gonna
right
work it.
before.
We are going to try again, but we're going
Yeah.
to practice first and watch more YouTube videos on how to do it because it was our first
Mhm.
time trying to do it on Zoom.
Yeah. And that's it. We all learn by our mistakes. And
That's
they're
right.
all happy mistakes. As
Yeah.
I say to my ladies at my craft class, oh, don't worry, it's a happy mistake. We can do it. Put an
Well,
embellishment on it.
I always tell them there's no mistakes in crafting. So there you
No.
go. There's only opportunities for embellishments.
Yeah.
All right. So we might sign off there. And
Yeah.
please, if you when you watch this video, if you have any questions, contact either of us and we're happy to talk to you. And yeah, and bye for now.
Yeah.
Thank you so much,
Bye.
Sue. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.